In this video, let's talk about Donkey's backstory in the Shrek franchise. Before we start, it's important to keep in mind that there is no officially confirmed backstory for Donkey. Everything discussed here is speculation based on small clues spread throughout the franchise. With that in mind, let's start with the theory that I personally find the most convincing. I'm going to completely ignore the Pinocchio theory that claims Donkey was one of the boys transformed into a donkey on Pleasure Island. I've never really liked that idea, and I think it falls apart the moment Shrek 2 happens. When Donkey drinks the happily ever after potion, he doesn't become a human. Instead, he transforms into a handsome stallion. If he had originally been a human boy turned into a donkey, you would expect the potion to restore him to a human form. Since that never happens, the theory doesn't really hold up for me. The explanation that makes much more sense is that Donkey was always a regular donkey but somehow gained the ability to talk and developed a very human-like personality through magic, most likely because of the witches. During the standalone spin-off web series Swamp Talk with Shrek and Donkey, he claims that he comes from a family of unicorns and that he is 1/8 unicorn.
I am 1/8 unicorn.
You don't even have a horn.
Majesty is only skin deep.
You're a donkey.
At first glance.
And second and third.
Look, just because I don't look like one doesn't mean I don't feel like one.
You're nothing like a unicorn. They're loud, flashy, and don't know when to take a hint. Oh, hang on. You are a unicorn.
Whether we're supposed to take that seriously or not is hard to say, but it is something Donkey himself says. At the very least, it suggests that he wasn't always alone and that he came from a large family before his life took a very different turn. I think everything changed once he gained the ability to talk. Suddenly, he wasn't just an ordinary animal anymore. He had human intelligence, human emotions, and the ability to communicate with people. Instead of being accepted, he was treated like a freak. Donkey actually talks about this in Shrek 2 when he mentions that an old farmer tried to trade him for magic beans. He also recalls a party where people used him as a piñata.
Well, first it was the time that old farmer tried to sell me for some magic beans. I ain't never got over that. Then this fool went off and had a party, and he have all the guests trying to pin a tail on me. Then they all got drunk and started beating me with a stick going, "Piñata, piñata!"
Stories like these paint a picture of someone who spent much of his life being laughed at, mistreated, or treated as a curiosity rather than a living being. Donkey's early years were probably much harder than they seem. Imagine suddenly having a human-like mind while still being stuck in the body of a donkey. He would have had to learn how to live with that reality and figure out where he belonged. We actually see evidence of this in Shrek the Third when he and Puss switch bodies. Puss immediately starts acting on donkey instincts, and Donkey casually tells him,
They were made in Madrid by the finest.
Oh, you'll learn to control that.
It's a small moment, but it suggests that adapting to a donkey instincts wasn't easy at first. Donkey spent most of his life alone. As far as we know, he never really had someone he could call a true friend. He was constantly being used, sold, and treated like he didn't matter. When we first meet him in the first film, we immediately get a glimpse of how difficult his life was. An old woman is trying to sell him to Lord Farquaad's guards simply because he's a talking donkey. The moment people realize he can talk, they don't treat him with curiosity or kindness. They see an opportunity. Looking at it from Donkey's perspective, the safest thing he could have done was stay quiet. Every time he opened his mouth, he risked being treated like a freak, captured, or sold to someone who wanted to use him for their own benefit. Eventually, Donkey escapes that situation, and that's when his life changes forever because he meets Shrek. The funny thing is that he developed a liking for him immediately. Shrek, on the other hand, wants absolutely nothing to do with him. He tells him to leave, tries to scare him away, and makes it clear that he wants to be left alone. But Donkey refuses to go. Part of that is because of his personality, but I also think it's because he finally found someone who felt familiar to him. Everyone else sees an ogre and runs away in terror, but Donkey doesn't.
I'm an ogre. You know, grab your torch and pitchforks. Doesn't that bother you?
Nope.
Really?
Really.
That clearly catches Shrek off guard because he's spent his entire life being judged by his appearance. In a way, both of them are dealing with the same problem. They're constantly judged before anyone gets to know who they really are. One of the most revealing moments comes when Donkey begs Shrek to let him stay in the swamp. He tells him that he doesn't know what it's like to be considered a freak. The irony, of course, is that Shrek knows exactly what that feels like.
Please, I don't want to go back there. You don't know what it's like to be considered a freak. Well, maybe you do, but that's why we gotta stick together. You gotta let me stay, please, please.
It shows how deeply those years of rejection affected him. Being treated as an outcast wasn't something that happened once or twice. It seems to have been the story of his entire life. That's why his friendship with Shrek becomes so special throughout the franchise. What starts as an unlikely partnership slowly grows into one of the most iconic friendships in animation. Both of them spent years alone, pushing people away or being pushed away by others. Through their friendship, they finally find someone who accepts them exactly as they are. As the series continues, both of them build their own families. Donkey falls in love with Dragon and eventually becomes the father of the Dronkeys. Shrek builds a life with Fiona and starts a family of his own. The two outsiders who once had nobody, now have people who genuinely love and care about them. That's what makes Donkey's journey so satisfying. He starts the story as someone who is constantly running, constantly being used, and constantly treated like he doesn't matter. By the end of the franchise, he has real friends, a loving family, and a place where he belongs.